Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, glad to have you here. Oh look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Boy, I look terrible. That's because I was up this morning and I was here. We were working on Rabivania scripts at 5 o'clock this morning. So, I turned on members only stream this morning. 5 we went for 5 o'clock. We went for 3 hours, did 6 Pomodoros. The Pomodoro is a 25-minute focus session with 5-minute breaks after each one to get stuff done. So we were doing stuff. Let me see if I've got something syncing here. I see my connection's a little bit unstable. Just 1 second. Oh, yep. Okay, I turned that off so that maybe that'll help out if it looked like things were pixelated or something. We'll see. So anyway, we did that this morning. So that was a fantastic way to start the day. And, that's the way things are supposed to be. The morning grind here is supposed to be a celebration and where we talk about geeky stuff and everything that we want to talk about after we've gotten our work done in the morning. And so this morning I woke up, I got it done. Then I went back and I took a nap after the productivity stream this morning. between just after that for a little bit. I'm supposed to work out because my brother has challenged me to 30 days worth of workouts, but it was kind of a late night last night. Last night was fantastic. Last night was amazing. If you want to go deep into the Barbie movie and its story, structure, and analysis, and why it's working, and potentially why it's connecting with a bunch of people and being such a phenomenon, well, I got together the trifecta of guests last night. Doug was there, Brianna was there, and Cameron was there. And Cameron kind of led us in that discussion because he said that he wanted to use that movie in order to teach screenwriting. And so I let him lead off with that. And that was a fantastic discussion. I mean, there were lots of people there. If you didn't see that, definitely check out last night's table talk. That was amazing. All right, let's see who we got here in the chat. My eyes are not wanting to focus, so we will just have to see what I can read here. So we got James here. James and Stray, good morning, good morning. And yes, we do have the new dance. I meant to point that out. I think people have figured that out by now. We do have the new dance emoji. That comes from Cabal, the game Cabal, the NES game. When I played that, and yes, the Special Forces guy dances off with his rifle. So what I'll do right now, I think it's scheduled for 7. I might have to move that back till 8. But I want to do. It was requested yesterday during last night's stream, that people wanted to talk about what we had wanted to talk about Barbie more in the context of the discussion that we were having last night. And so I said, well, all right. So I put together a stream. So what I'll do, if you've never been to one of the members only hangout streams before, people want to talk about that, I'll invite people on the stream. So if you have something you want to say, you tell me how I'm getting the Barbie wrong. I'm going to, if you want to do that, we'll have the members only hangout streams. We'll have a discussion on that subject tonight. I'm still trying to get the coffee shop and the digital online tavern ready. I just haven't, all of my creative energy has been going into the script writing recently. But yes, so we'll do that. I might have to push that to 8 p.m. It's not going to go long. It's not going to go long. Just probably be an hour or something like that. Can't go long, but we will do that. If you would like to join us, it'll be a great time. There was something else I was going to say in that area. Hey, Punk Soup. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, happy Wednesday. Oh, already Thursday. Let's see. Brett is here. Good morning, Brett. Let's see. PH says, just did a cardio exam. I'm in the lab watching the grind. Whoa. Well, I hope that goes well. Hello, BGD. Lots of people here. And there's Sable Phoenix as well. All right. The morning grind is a reward. The rewarding grind, well, it's if we get our work done. All right. So we're going to need to look at trying to finalize. This might be, if this goes right, this might be the last day that we take a look at the Tales of Rabivania World Primer. James, I want to send this to you. Because James, you said you would be willing to take a look at this from an editing perspective, because the Rabivania World Primer, I almost went to layout with. I'll tell you where I am. I got to fix some stuff with some 5E stats here, which we're going to look at now, because otherwise I was trying to get it done, which needs to be looked at now. And then if James will take a look at the lore parts, like not the stat parts and things like that, that would give somebody else some other pair of eyes on this document. And then it's time to start thinking about layout and getting the art done and things like that, so this Tales of Rabivania World Primer book can get done. Thank you, James. I've been trying to, and let me know what format is best. I know I've got to catch up on a bunch of stuff on Discord. I've got to catch up on a bunch of stuff on the Raven Keep Discord. But if you'll message me on Discord, I will catch up, and let me know what format, as like file format, is best for you to receive this in. I'm using Scrivener right here, but I'll have to take it over. Hey, good morning. Good morning. It's JDN, JDM. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Well, we'll take a look at these 5e stats, but first we need to breathe and sip. So here we go. Everybody got your favorite beverage this morning? This morning I have been drinking lemonade that I've been mixing up. So I've got my It's not exactly a thermos, but it's because it's just the single walled. But whatever. I've got some lemonade here this morning. So everybody, let's breathe and sip. 2 deep breaths in, complete exhales, and then take a sip of your favorite beverage. So here we go. All right, let's sip. All right, there we go. Okay, well, I can export those formats directly. I can probably export a doc directly. I mean, I know I can export a PDF, but it might be easier if you actually can take notes or put notes actually in it. So, all right, I'll export those relatively soon. Okay, so let's open this up. Let's share. This is World Building Wednesday. So Wednesday is supposed. That's why I was trying to get back to on some kind of schedule. That's why we did rules at rules development yesterday, and now here we are for World Building Wednesday. So if you don't know what we're doing, or if you are new here, where is my sample? Here it is over here. I have been trying to put together world books, or these different worlds, which I still think is some of my core value to the Geekverse, which is what I've been working on. And but rather than trying to do world books that are something like Mark did over here, like Mark Tassin, who's we've talked to on the channel, who these large, which this is the ultimate goal, but these are the large, full color, great art, very well laid out, giant kinds of world books that we're used to as far as RPGs. They take a lot of effort to create. And so what I would like to do is I'd like to create a series of world books that are smaller to start off with to see what kind of worlds people like. And so I've been using this model right here. This is the Fate Accelerated book. Like 48 pages, 9x6, that gives an introduction to one of the worlds. And I've been calling it a world primer. So one of the worlds, and this book is basically is almost finished as far as the writing goes. Like I said, now it's time to go to layout, or to an editing, and then to layout. This is the Tales of Rabivania, a world primer for role-playing. This is one of the worlds, and this is the world that also I've been working on writing the stories in for how long now? Like for a long time. Well, a long time if you count like since childhood. But I've been trying to get the stories in this world written. And Cameron has actually been helping me on that. And that's why this morning, a lot of my creative time went into writing this world primer. And it may actually be a little bit longer than this 48 pages right here. But whatever. It's like 10,000 words of lore. And then we've been incorporating role-playing statistics into it. And so we'll have to see. Maybe in the future I need to write a little bit less in order to kind of hit the goal, because it may be over page count. But whatever, we're gonna go with it. So 10,000 words of lore is probably pretty good, plus all of the rules. And then because we have my other idea is that if you were trying to put together a gigantic book like this, well, I've done that in the past with the Journey to the Tree of Sorrows. We were trying to write these gigantic books, and David was going to illustrate them with his amazing illustrations, because he is an amazing artist. That's David LaRocca. But that's just such a huge project. Not only did it not actually get done and published, but you can only really do one version of rules with that, because laying out one particular book like that and doing that is such a big deal. So I thought that, hey, if I'm doing some smaller books, then I could potentially do lay out 3 of them and have some different rule systems inside. Eventually, we'll do one with whatever rule system it is that we develop here on the channel, like with Fated Edge, when we were talking about yesterday. But, on the other hand, I'm really liking what Mark is doing. It may be once we start to go through all those notes like we were going through yesterday that we find that, hey, maybe the need to create a whole new RPG is not necessarily there. I would like to, just for personal reasons. But, Mark and I, it seemed like, had a lot of the same concerns, and then we addressed them in some similar ways. Some things are very different. But on the other hand, we're talking about that, so we will just see. So that's what we're trying to do. And by the way, so this is also the world. So the first book in the Tales of Rabivania is Goodnight Sword, which we did a Kickstarter for not too long ago. So everybody who wanted a Goodnight Sword, this is the book for the youngest of the audience for Tales of Rabivania, and then there'll be a series of books. That's the plan anyway, for younger and younger audiences. Excuse me, for younger and younger, for older and older audience. Until I've been up for a while this morning. For older and older audiences as they get progressive, as they go and as they progress. Thank you, James. We're a bit delayed today, it seems. We're going, right? I'm not talking to myself, right? While we're waiting, everybody go check out the Backer Kit campaign for Where Evil Lives by MCDM. Oh. Well, we'll see. All right. Let's see. I don't know anything about that campaign, but definitely check that out. I'd be interested to see what MCDM is doing. I've got the books on strongholds and things like that. Okay, thank you for the confirmation. All right, so that's what we were doing. So if you go back to the Tales of Rabivania other live streams, we've been basically through this entire book. But one of the ideas was that the three rule systems outside of any other one that would be created that we decided to do for the Tales of Rabivania were easy D6, 5e. I mean, you have to do at least one 5e. So everyone is so familiar with the way 5e goes. To do a 5e version of this, then we thought that an easy D6 version of this would also be a good one. Because when we were reviewing easy D6, I was like, you know what? I can totally see playing a role-playing game with my nephews with using easy D6. So we were relatively fond, I think, overall on this channel with easy D6. I was. And so I thought that easy D6 would be a good one to create rules for. And then the other one that I was going to create was Pathfinder. Now, I tell you, the one that I've been struggling the most with has been Pathfinder. So this is because there is so much to it, as we found. So there's so much to it. And what I'm thinking, but I decided to not let that hang me up because it was so difficult writing the Pathfinder rules. I may have to talk to somebody else who's like much more familiar with Pathfinder than I am in order to create it. Because it seems like what you don't want to do, it seems like, is try to create new stuff or new classes like you do with 5e in Pathfinder. Because there's so much stuff in Pathfinder, you feel like I don't feel competent to go in there and change things. So I think what you really have to do is work within the Pathfinder framework if you're trying to modify something. So if you wanted to know what are, like, we've got these 4 classes here, the Knight, the Druid, the Witch, and the Damsel, rather than trying to create something completely new for Pathfinder, it seems like what you do is you try to find a class that's the closest and then talk about what type of modifications that should be made to that class, or not necessarily even modifications, but the tree, when they're trying to do a tree with like a skill tree, what type of feats they should have, what type of feats should be disallowed, how to actually build a character. I think that's the way to go, but I'm gonna have to talk to somebody who's much more in touch with Pathfinder than I am. But I decided, hey, there's no reason to let that hang me up, because I can go ahead. The lore is written. 5e is almost done. Easy D6 is almost done. So I could get the lore to an editor and then go ahead and start putting together like the 5e version and so forth, and just keep going. And then, develop the other ones as they come in. So that's basically the idea there. So BGDs and Stray are also easy D6 fans. It takes, the easy D6 you have to modify a little bit. So none of these will be you have to modify 5e as well, because none of these are the definitive versions of Rabivania. BGD says the email I sent you, Heath, contains an invitation for an opportunity to play Easy D6 with its creator, DM Scotty, in a couple of weeks, which might be a good opportunity for you to connect. Oh, well, that would be. Zero the Bleed. Thank you, BGD. I think I've seen that you've sent me some messages on Discord as well. I think that might be you. And I'm so behind on email and Discord. Zero the Blade says no Nat1 does a lot of PF2 videos if you need help. I do not know that channel. I'm going to open it up in a different window. No Nat1. All right. I'll check that out later on. All right. So where are we? So it looks like, so I do have the Easy D6. So the Easy D6s were pretty easy to create. Like, for instance, the rabbits in Easy D6, we're talking about, okay, they're going to receive boons on checks involving jumping and hearing. If you are new here and you don't know what's going on, the Tales of Rabivania is my world of medieval rabbits, and I've got even action figures, which I'm still working on. These are action figure prototypes. We've got to get more energy here in order to get these done. But I've been working on. That's why you see rabbits behind me and things like that. This is one of the worlds. So this is a world of anthropomorphic animals. So the rabbits receive boons on checks involving jumping and hearing, and that's basically all you've got as far as Easy D6 species goes. But then the Easy D6 Knight. So this is a modification, I believe, of their basic warrior. Hero path Knight, health 3 strikes, armor heavy. So health 3 strikes. Everybody has 3 basic. Hit points. 3 strikes. 3 times you can absorb some kind of hit. The hero path for the Knight takes heavy armor, save against wounds with 3+ with a shield, 4+ without, and has a miraculous save of 6. And boon is melee and riding tasks. Okay. And then we also have Chivalrous Sacrifice. Once per scene, if you're wielding a shield, you may make a free action to negate all damage inflicted upon yourself or a close ally. However, your shield shatters and is now unusable. Lower your armor save to 4+. If you spend 5 karma, the destruction of the shield is avoided. Master of the Lance. You are adept at the use of the lance. When charging with a lance on Foxback, you have an extra boon. This allows you to roll 3d6 and take the highest die. Because with your knight, one of the things you should do is be able to strike something down while you are on Foxback with a lance. So Master of the Lance, I think that makes sense. I don't know exactly how these are going to be formatted, but at least for visual reasons here, these can be. I even have an inconsistency there. Master of the Lance, so that allows you to potentially, to use the lance when it matters, right? And then Great Blow, declare a favored knightly melee weapon at character creation. When you use that weapon, your critical hit range expands to both 5 and 6 rather than just 6. So from the Easy D6 perspective, I think that is a pretty good knight. So I don't have an Easy D6 druid yet. I do with the witch. Oh, I was working on that. So I'm still working on the Easy D6 stuff. But like I said, it's time to go ahead and get this going. Everything else. We got gear, armor, shields. These are, and plus, because like I realized, okay, so for the gear, armor, and shields, this is the 5e shields. And you might not really need it for something like Easy D6. We need Pathfinder stats for armor and weapons. But that I think I'll just convert those when I'm ready for them. But you may not need these at all for like Easy D6 because it doesn't really take into account weapon damage. But I would still put in a list of gear for just general reference, the kinds of things that are available in Rabivania and so forth. So I've got that. I also realized that even though just doing, a book like this, well, trying to do 3 of them, well, they are going to take completely 3 different layout efforts. So even though a lot of the text is going to be the same, we'll see about this going forward with 3 different ones on each one of the 3 different systems with different iterations of different worlds. So really, what I realized where we were, and where I realized we were not right. Like, we were basically done with all of the 5E stats in our bestiary. I've been writing about a lot of raccoons in the script. The raccoons have been very present and very vicious in the first 17 pages of the Rabivania script. But I realized that not the difficulty class, but the challenge rating. Yeah, that's it. The challenge rating of these raccoons is not right. So okay, let's look at the challenge ratings, because they're too high. They're too high. So what I needed to do, and I think Andrew brought this up when last we were working on this, is that the challenge rating is too high. So what I need to do is I need to create basically a raccoon war band. And what exactly would I want a group of 4 adventurers to be fighting as a raccoon war band? Because right now I have like the raccoon Huskarl here is challenge rating 5 himself. So kind of implying that he's supposed to be standalone when he's when you're fighting him. And no, at 5th level, you should be fighting a band of raccoons that are led by a Huskarl. So I need to rebuild with that angle. So that's the big thing they've got to do. So the fox, I think the fox is good. The fox was ready. Challenge rating a 1/4, but the fox is the mount that the rabbits ride. The mice, those are primarily field NPCs. So they are, NPCs from the field. So we have mice field worker, but then there is also a mouse knight right here, challenge rating 2. So that one is done. The raccoons are the ones that we've got to work with and reduce their challenge rating. So we got a lot of info for the raccoons, but this may be using that business card bestiary, adjusting the stats for the business card bestiary. So we got the raccoon warrior, berserker, Huskarl, and shaman. And by the time you're 5th level, I mean, we should be talking about like 3 warriors, a berserker, and a Huskarl, or something like that. That would give you 5. Rat, I think we are good on. This is the rat brigand, challenge rating a 1/4. Yeah, so we've got these smaller challenge ratings, which are intended to have a number of people, you fighting like a bunch of rats or something like that. The raccoons are supposed to be beefier, but right now they're too beefy. We got the snake here. This is kind of a general snake, venomous snake, large beast. Later, when we have more page count, we can come up with a bunch of different types of snakes that are more like for actually different species and things like that. So the snake makes sense. So one snake right here, we've got a high challenge rating on the snake that we built out, because the snake is going to be something like the dragon. So having one snake when you fight it and having to deal with that makes sense. So a high challenge rating snake, that makes sense. We got the squirrel right here. Squirrel mendicant friar. Challenge rating 1/2 makes sense. I think that was all created. So we got the 5e stats. Like I said, I'll come through and I'll make the other stats like for easy D6 later. And then the weasel as well. We've got weasels are another thing that you encounter in mass. So we've got challenge rating a 1/4, weasel cutthroat, and weasel mystic. So there we go. So right now, so really, in order to finish the 5e version of this book, all we have to do is get these raccoons right. All right, let's go over here. Let's see what's going on in the chat. You're talking about the figures, the action figures, hand painted hard copies could be a great collector's item. They sell for quite a bit compared to production copies. Those are very. Those are 3D prints out of resin, and boy, they are fragile. Punk Soup says, "Are the rabbits the dominant species in the world?" Yes, the rabbits are the dominant species. They're the ones who are running things. It's their kingdom. Good morning, Vision. Good to see you. Okay. So right now with Warrior, we have the Warrior as a challenge rating 1. We have the Berserker as a challenge rating 4. But that needs to drop. That needs to drop down. Raccoon Huskarl is challenge rating 5. That needs to drop dramatically. And then the Raccoon Shaman is challenge rating 1. That could potentially be okay. Okay, where is our like how to design an encounter? I was really digging also the image of the raccoon that was on this this thumbnail this morning. So let's see. I'm over here in the DMG here. Adventure environments, between adventures, treasure, running the game. This is how infrequently I do this. I mean, who knows? It may be. Let's see. Let me just go over here to Google. Design a 5e encounter challenge rating. Oh, look. 5e edition dungeon encounter calculator. Okay. So let's say if we've got 4 player characters who are all of level 5. Okay, so an easy encounter would be 1,000 XP. A medium encounter would be 2,000 XP. A hard encounter would be 3,000, and deadly encounter would be 4,400 XP. Good morning, Rogue Thinker. Oh, good morning, Andrew, too. So we should have XP values here. Yeah, okay, yes. So we've got challenge rating and XP values. Okay, but those are about to be reduced. Because, all right, so let's say we're going to put some notes here. Right here. Okay, so notes on a raccoon war party. If you have an entire raccoon war party, let's say that's a hard encounter. Hard encounter for level for 4 characters of level 5. And that means we need to build this off of 3,000 XP. But we got to figure out what we want the levels of each one of these characters to be. So let's say that we put it. What if we said that was 3 raccoon warriors, 2 raccoon berserkers, and 1 raccoon who's Carl? And then, of course, that way, not everything has to be the same. You can add in shamans, you can add in whatever else. But that would be 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be 6. To be a hard encounter. If you're just encountering warriors, it's probably an easier encounter or whatever. But that seems like it'd be a pretty good encounter to be like an end encounter, a hard encounter here. So I think so. And it also gives you the ability, if you want to go deadly, you could throw in some more. You could throw in a shaman or something like that. Okay, so that means that needs to be 3,000 experience points. That's still. So where are we? A warrior is challenge 1. So at the moment, that's 600 of our XP at the moment. As it stands. Okay, Berserkers. I see. Yeah, see, that's challenge rating 4. So that's eating up a whole bunch. That's eating up a whole bunch. Right now, as that stands, that'd be 2,200 experience points. $2,200 XP. And then the Huskarl himself, 1,800. So 600 plus 2,200 plus 1,800. Okay, that's 4,600 points worth of experience right now. So that's blowing the lid off our XP. That's 4,600. Actually, that makes it slightly worse than the deadly encounter. So that doesn't sound good. That sounds like it's too much. That sounds like something that should be difficult, but for your high party should not be. So that does say that, yeah, my raccoons are too strong. So the Berserker is what? Challenge rating? Challenge rating 4. And then the Huskarl is challenge rating 5. They might need to slide down 1. This is challenge 4. And then this is challenge 5. And these were up here at challenge 1. Good morning, TSL Frontman. Raccoon, the Vosbeer bear shirts. We're going to need some type of raccoon berserker shirts. One day I'd like to do shirts too. We did a really cool Journey to the Tree of Sorrow shirts. You probably see me wearing them reasonably often. I really like them. It'd be cool to do something like that one day. All right. So wait. So let me also bring up the challenge. What is this? A business card. 5e monster manual on a business card. How do we calculate XP? Let's just go over here. XP value by challenge rating. 5e. Is there a generalized formula for converting monster CR into XP? Okay, so some people have some general numbers here. So in order to put this at 3,000, okay, so this is old, and this is new. So a challenge rating 3 creature should have an XP of 700. Yeah, that's a big jump between 3 and 4. So what happens if we say 2 raccoon berserkers, challenge rating 3? That would give you 1400 XP. And this, if this is old, and new, one raccoon Huskarl. What if he becomes challenge rating 4? So a challenge rating 4 guy still may be too much. So what are we looking at there? 600 plus 1400 plus 1100. So that's 3100. That's basically it then. So that's what needs to happen. So, okay, that's not too much work here. So what needs to happen here is we need to back down the Berserkers by 1 challenge level, 1 challenge rating, and then back down the Huskarl by 1 challenge rating as well. Okay, that can be done. Oh, I have heard this. Oh, yes. So Berserker is a portmanteau of bear, and Sark shirt. At least that's what some scholars say. We don't know, and I can't really know, but this makes sense in context. They wore skins. Yeah, I have heard that. Like the skin shirt, the hair shirt. I do remember that. If I recall correctly, in 5e, BGD says CR 1/4 creatures are usually a reasonable match for a level 1 party on a level 1 PC on a 1-to-1 basis, and it scales up from there with decreasing accuracy. Yeah, and that's what I've seen talked about a lot, that it scales up with decreasing accuracy. The math on it isn't nearly as tight as like Pathfinder is going to be. Pathfinder 2nd edition is going to be. So let's go over to Monster Manual on a business card. Well, let's go. Okay, so got a lot of windows I need to deal with here. So on Raccoon Berserker, we want to back this down to challenge rating 3, which means it's going to be what did we just say? 700? Yeah, 700. 700 XP. Yeah. And then we're going to back the Berserker down to... No, back. We just did the Berserker. Yeah. And then back the Huskarl down to challenge rating 4. And then that gives us 1,100 XP. But now we got to decrease their stats to match. So according to... And I believe it was Sable who brought up this fantastic, or let me know about this fantastic site here called, from the blog of Holding, called the 5e Monster Manual on a Business Card. I'll put a link to it in the stats here. 5e Monster Manual on a Business Card. I'll tell you how the stats go. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll even bring it up over here. So, for example, so now we know. So here's the finished business card. I mean, this whole blog breaks down all of this, all of the math. And again, like BGD was saying, it doesn't scale perfectly. But as far as a best fit line, like he's talking about here, of the monster statistics and what kind of statistics different CR monsters should have, he's got the formula. He works out the formula, but then basically at the end puts all of those stats on basically something the size of a business card, so you know what they're supposed to be. So that would mean, let's take a look. I'll put that up. If we have this Berserker, who is now challenge rating 3, so he's falling in here, his AC should be 13 plus 1/3 of his CR. So a 1/3 CR. So his AC should be 14. Is that what I've got over here? Yes, it is. So his armor class is 14, a shield plus 2 dex. That is where it's supposed to be, according to this right here. This is so handy. hit points. His hit point should be 15 times CR plus 15. Okay, so 15 times 3 plus 15. 60. So he should have 60 hit points. Okay, so I need to back him down because I got him over here having 71 hit points. So he needs to be back down to 60 hit points. Let's go 58 hit points. How do you roll for 58 hit points? Let's say 12. We can go over here to any dice. Output 12d8 plus 13. That's too much. Okay. 10d8 plus 9. I don't know of a formula for doing this. I'm supposed to. So that would go. Okay. So that basically does it. Hey, let's go plus 11. 10d8 plus 11. I'm saying he's got 58 hit points. This is a bell curve right around 56. Okay, so that works. So if you want to roll for it, so he's got 58 hit points. But if you want to roll for it, do 10d8 plus 11, and that gives you this curve around about 56. Perfect. All right, I'll take it. PH says, don't forget the honey badger. Your worst nightmare in fantasy or real life. And that's true. It's true. All right, so attack bonus should be 4. Is that attack plus? Okay, it says plus or minus 2 based on concept. See, even AC, this is the back of the card, or AC is plus or minus up to 3 based on the monster concept. So that's the general, but there's a lot of wiggle room. HP is plus or minus 50% based on concept. Reduce HP of monsters with damage avoiding abilities by the amount of damage they may avoid over 3 rounds of combat. Attack plus or minus 2 based on the concept. So the attack, and I believe that is the attack bonus. Attack bonus, yes. Attack bonus is 4 plus 1/2 of CR. So 4 plus 1/2 of 3, so it should be 5. It should be 5.5. But we got plus or minus 2 based on concept. So if that's 5.5. These are the berserkers. So I moved them up to 6. So right now they're saying it's 6 with a battle axe. So it makes sense for them to be biased to the high end side. So battle axe is plus 6 to hit. That still works. Javelin, if they're throwing a javelin, is plus 5 to hit. All right. Sounds like we're still good. Actually means we've just brought down the HP. We haven't done a whole lot else yet. Damage is 5 times CR plus 5. So 5 times 3 is 15. Oh, it's 15 plus 20 plus 5. So that's 20. So the damage should be 20. And damage is plus or minus 50% based on concept. This is the damage budget. Now, what does that mean? 20. This is important. That this is the damage budget for This is the damage budget for all attacks. Limited use attacks do 4x the damage budgeted. Multi attacks do 1/2. Limited use multi attack targets do 2 times. All other attacks 1 time, including auras, reactions, and varying lengths effects. So let's see. I say that he may make 2 attacks with his battle axe, which makes sense. I mean, he's a higher CR. He's going to be he's in a fury of battle rage anyway. So it makes sense that he's doing that. So right now, what kind of damage do I have here? Well, I've got that he has 10, hit 10, or if you want to roll for it, 1d8 plus 4 slashing damage. And he's fighting twice. So that's right there on the number with 20. So actually, maybe I just had, in general, I had his stats kind of right, but was just too, I was assigning too high a CR. DC, difficulty class, plus or minus 2 based on concepts. It's 11 plus 1. So this would be like 12 and a half. That's like to resist things. So I don't think I have that on him. So that's good. Saving throws, 3 plus 1/2 CR. So like 4.5. He's got advantage on all saving throws related to Constitution. He's got +2 Constitution, but he has advantage on that. He's got +4 Strength. So actually, that checks out. So that checks out, according to the monster manual on a business card. Oh, BGD says, I believe 12d8 plus 4 is perfect, but it also produces the widest spread for 58 average. Okay, 12d8 plus 4. $12d8 plus 4. It's probably better to have more over there. So calculate that. That does put it right on 58, 57, 57, 58, 59. But with a particularly wide spread, all the way up to 70. Well, I do like that. I like that too. I mean, if you're rolling for hit points, it could be all over the place. You could end up with one guy with really, I mean, probably it's going to happen if you have more than one. You know, over time, you're going to have some that were low and some that were high. So 12d8 plus 4. BGD says, especially with creatures who are big bags of hit points, you really want to choose an appropriate minimum or maximum HP you want to observe in addition to the average. Yes. Although typically I don't see that in the monster manual, right? The monster manual, I mean, that makes much more sense. The monster manual does, yeah, just give you hit points, just one number, and then some dice to generate that. But yeah, I completely agree that probably you'd also want minimums and maximums. So 12d8 plus 4, 12d8 plus 4. That probably makes more sense anyway. Okay, well then let's check out the Huskarl then. So we've reduced him to challenge rating 4. So he also has, here, I'll swap this out. What we're looking at right here. So challenge rating 4, Hardy. The Huskarl has advantage on all saving throws related to Constitution. That's a raccoon thing. Scent. The Huskarl has advantage on all wisdom saving checks related to their sense of smell. Actions, multi-attack. The Huskarl makes 3 attacks in melee combat. All right, so we're going to have to see about this number of attacks here. And he also had a bunch of hit points. Yeah, he's got a bunch of hit points. So we're going to reduce that. All right, let's see what the... Oh, forgot. I didn't hit the button. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to go over to the... Where did my business card go? Oh, right here. Okay. So now, if we're going CR4, we're still on this line over here. It says his AC should be 13 plus 1/3 of CR. So it should be 14 up a little bit. And he's got an AC of 14. Now, you could armor him. Like, so with more page counts, we could do more options. Because I do have, but my action figure for my Huskarl over here, he's real dramatic. So he's not armored. But he does come with a shield. So at the moment, this particular Huskarl is not armored. So kind of representing him, but he could be like with scale or something like that. Medium creatures. So if he's wearing a shield and he's using a shield and he's got dex, then that would be armor class 14. And that is where we're supposed to be. HP is 15 times CR plus 15. So 15 times 4. So that's 60 plus 15. So he's supposed to have 75 hit points. 15 times 4. He's supposed to have 75 hit points. And I had him with 85. Okay, so let's drop him down there. But now, okay, now how do you roll for that? Are they all supposed to be D8s? I'm not even sure. Yeah, why does this guy say D10? Well, no, the Kraken rolls with hit points 27 times D8. 27 D20s. Oh, the intellect about. Okay, so you can use different things. It doesn't have to be just the D8. But let's go with this. How did you figure that out, BGD? BGD says you can design a creature with 58 average hit points using 12d8 plus 4 or using 4d8 plus 40. The former allows vanishing small chances for individuals with only 16 HP, while the latter will have at least 44. Yeah. So, I mean, I agree that actually, if you were designing this from the ground up, then having the larger static modifier with less random. I mean, isn't that a theme that comes up on this channel a lot? The reduction of randomness that gives you less randomness and also a floor, and a nice floor and a more expected range. Brett says, "Oh, hey, Brett." Brett says, "Good morning, all. Glad to see the Rabivania, the World Building Wednesday back." I know. Thank you. I'm so glad. I'm glad for it to be back. Great table talk last night. Yes, it was. If you're just coming in again, like I said, it was a fantastic table talk last night. Story structure on the Barbie movie, the trifecta of guests. It was fantastic, and I appreciate everybody who was there. PH says, does any attack have the potential to give rabies? No, I haven't been dealing with that. that hasn't come up yet. Okay, so what do we do about the dice range? Well, maybe that's why I had D10 over. So what did I have over here? I originally had a D10 over there, right? Maybe it was because I was like, Lord, that's a lot of dice to be throwing if you're going to be randomly generating this guy's hit points. On the other hand, just picking, if you want someone with some variety, picking something that sounds reasonable around there is probably pretty reasonable. Oh, TSL Frontman says, maybe the best talk I've seen. Oh, well, high praise. Sable says, probably the best table talk since Doug was first on to introduce Heroine's Labyrinth concept, in my opinion. Oh, well, I thought it was a fantastic discussion. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So I'm glad other people thought so too. There was a lot of meat in that talk. Drew says rabies equals zombie rabbit one shot. It could be. It could be. Let's see. 12. So if you're doing 70, what did I say? 71? If you do 12d10 plus 6, you're sitting with a distribution over 73. What did I actually say? 75? Isn't that dead on what he's supposed to be? And I was giving them a little bit less. So actually, I think that's probably fine. So let's say that's sitting right on 72. Let's go 72. All right, hit points fixed. Attack should be 4, attack bonus of 4 plus 1/2 CR. So this needs to be a +6. And he's got a +6 to hit with his javelin. He's got a +7 to hit with his short sword, and he can do a shield bash at +7. So, and he's supposed to be a bit more skilled, so I will take that because we've got the ability to go plus or -2 based on concept anyway. And his damage should be 25. His damage should be 25. But he attacks 3 times. That looks high. D6 plus 3 slashing damage. He's doing 25. So something like 9 would do it. Um, 1d6 plus short sword, but he could still get there. Or with a javelin over here, or with a shield bash, which is less. This be 8, 4, 5, 6, 7. His primary, I think the problem is it makes sense for him to be using a short sword, but probably it needs to be like a long sword in order to bring that damage up, which is the Dungeons and Dragons basing the damage roll on the type of weapon. TSL Frontman. Oh, the Heroine's Labyrinth has been done. Just search for Heroine's Labyrinth on the channel, or search for Doug Burton's name, either one of those. The first one that Doug was on, Doug explained the concept of the Heroine's Labyrinth. So that we went deep into that and Doug's theory. So that's been talked about a lot. That's on the channel. Definitely listen to that. That was really good. BGD says you start with, okay, with the information here. You start with average HP and then define the minimum or maximum you want to observe. Your HP formula for a creature will vary depending on the size and number of dice you choose to compete that range. BGD says some more smaller dice will tend toward the mean. Fewer larger dice will be more swingy. Yes. Heroine's Labyrinth is marked as members only. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. None of the table talks should be members only. Okay, yeah, no, they're not. They're not. Yeah, look up. Just look up Table Talk Heroine's Labyrinth. They're there. So BGD says if you want the average damage to be 9, using 2d6 plus 1 would be a possible formula. Is that allowed? So yes. Okay, is that allowed in? Oh, you're right. There was a public stream with Doug that. Yeah, there was a members only Q&A afterwards on one of the. And public. So BGD says if you want an average damage to be 9, using 2d6 plus 2 would be one possible formula. Can we do that? Will D&D allow us to do that? I mean, I don't mind that. This is 5th edition. But if you are trying to define a weapon, what if I just said sword? And that way it wasn't a short sword. It does seem like probably the short sword is not something that is probably the problem. And it does seem like a lot of these higher CR creatures, they've got different types of damage rate, different numbers of damage dice to roll because they're things that, like, bite you or claw you or something like that. So they're not trying to shoehorn themselves into the weapon system. TSL Frontman says, 5e has an ingrained level of, can it do that, or do I just need to homebrew it? Yeah. I guess that's an argument, I suppose, for things like damage by level and things like that. BGD says there are many, many ways to get single instances of average damage. Yes. And I could probably think of them. Think of more of them off stream. But okay, but that does work. That does work. Because he's using a weapon. He's not clawing stuff and things like that. Let me see what else is going on. What else is on our so attack, damage, DC, and save. So DC 11, so DC 13 if he's got a DC of something. Save should be 5. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. Where do you just say your save? DCs. Your save. What about saving throws? Okay, so it should be, the data is tightly grouped and linear. It's 3 plus 1/2 CR. So if you need to have some kind of saving throw, are those listed? I guess that's not here because I don't see it on the profile. You've got on the profile, like I'm looking at just Dryad, for instance, here, armor class, hit point, speed, all of the stats, skills, senses, languages, challenge, and then special abilities. Okay. All right. Well, that didn't actually take as much after going, oh my God, I got to go back through this and fix those up. That actually didn't take as much effort as I was expecting. So that's good. Well, TSL Frontman, Sable says, I still maintain that the sloppiness of 5e is one of the reasons it's so successful because it spawned a million homebrews. It, 2D PH says that 2d6 plus 2 is a great sword. Well, let's just do that. That way we just skip that. So the Huskarls is using a great sword. Thank you. That keeps everything lining. It's fine for him to use a great sword. Oh, well, then, I've got him with a shield up here, though. Tell you what, let's what is my let's give him armor and the great sword. That way he's different. I don't think I had talked about scale up here because this is primarily for the rabbits, but the raccoons wear scale. So let's say where's my gear. Scale. Well, okay. Instead of the whole mail, let's base it off of studded leather. Let's scale. Well, hang on. Okay, how about mail? How about scale Bernie? That way, it's not the whole the 14 plus, but that'd be 12 plus 2 decks, and he's got a great sword. I think that's a good option. Well, I think that actually means that the 5E is done then. So that means the 5E could move on into editing and layout and all of that. So that's good. Finally, I mean, it needs to be. I've been working on this for too long. So, okay, but anyway, so Sable Phoenix was saying, I maintain that the sloppiness of 5e is one of the reasons it's so successful because it spawned a million homebrews. You homebrew enough and you inevitably start thinking you need to show your homebrews to everybody else. It's inherent in being a DM. Yeah, but it's also the sloppiness also allows you to kind of work with it. I mean, so first of all, people want to homebrew it, so it spawns a bunch of homebrews to make something do what you really wanted it to do. But then also, it feels like you can play with it because, like I said, when I was looking at Pathfinder, I didn't really feel like, oh my god, I can't really play with this because it's set up to do exactly what it's doing. So if you're trying, so that sort of makes it difficult to all of a sudden do a different kind of world with it because it was so set up to do what it's doing. 5e can do other things. I mean, it's got enough play in it that you can do other things. TSL Frontman says, I agree with that, Sable. It transcended its level of gameness into a fluent improvisational game system that virtually anything can fit into. Not that improv wasn't always a part of it, but its homebrews can almost write themselves within the system. All right. Well, this was very helpful. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for a World Building Wednesday. How am I doing on my day over here? I thought about doing, we did a productivity live stream after the morning grind, but I'm tired right now. That's the problem. The late nights trying to do this, but plus I've got to do my exercises today because my brother's challenged me and I cannot let him down, and so forth. So I think I'm going to wrap it right here. But we'll do an hour stream tonight. So if you want to talk about Barbie and perhaps why I'm wrong, if you want to do that, we'll do a hangout chat for the members, for the channel members tonight. And I'll bring on people so they can chat and talk and give your opinions on Barbie. We'll just go for about an hour tonight. Can't go too long, but that'll be fun. So I will see everybody tonight, I hope, for the hangout and members discussion on Barbie tonight. Otherwise, I will see everybody tomorrow. Yep, for more morning grind at 9:30 a.m. Until then, hey, everybody, be creative, be constructive, and grind on. Later.